The old lady hears a Dutch folk tune from the intercom and wonders, what's going on? Am I filming a YouTube horror? She takes a candle to the living room, finding the record player still playing. It was Evanna's favorite Dutch folk song. The old lady freaked out and hit the power button, but the music came back to life as she walked away. The old lady figured, why is the record player still working during a blackout? That's a bit odd. But she didn't have time to ponder this. Just as she pressed the switch again, strange things started happening. Evanna seemed to float past the old lady, bringing with her some bizarre visuals. Summoning all her courage, she headed to the kitchen, where plates were flying around like it was a food fight. She quickly bent down to clean up, but just as she was about to pick up the last plate, a pair of feet suddenly appeared in front of her. She looked up, shocked beyond words, and bolted into the room like a track athlete. Locking the door, the old lady panicked, backing away and staring at it. Suddenly, hands choked her from above. Her eyes bulged with rage as the ghostly hands tightened, lifting her. She was choked to death. Her eyes popped out, and you can imagine how grim her demise looked. Meanwhile, the beautiful girl was stirred awake by the noise from the intercom, just as she leaned in to eavesdrop. A shadow darted out. The beauty squinted around. Little Handsome arrived just in time, and she narrowly escaped. Soon it was morning, and Ori looked at the food scraps on the floor, thinking it was another fit from Kyuhyua, but she quickly protested her innocence. Then, the beautiful girl and Little Handsome entered the kitchen. The two sat down at the dining table and began to debate the mysterious happenings with the intercom. She claimed she heard strange noises from the intercom that night, and asked Oi if he heard anything. But Kyuhyua chimed in, the house had no power. How could they? Suddenly, the scene shifted, and the statue from the basement mysteriously appeared in the living room. Everyone assumed Oi must have moved it, but he insisted he had been busy with the downpour. At this moment, the beautiful girl stared at the statue, feeling increasingly uneasy. This was not some ordinary art piece. Just then, the old man stumbled upon a notebook, claiming it was about a Dutch woman. The notebook mentioned a woman named Evanna, who had lived there since childhood. After reading it, the beautiful girl was convinced the statue had a deep connection with this Dutch lady. The old man found a photo in the book, the woman's outfit strikingly similar to the statue's. Breakfast time rolled around, and as Aking prepared to snap a group photo, he noticed the old lady was notably absent. Oi then asked Kyuhyua to check. The moment she pushed the door open, she found the elderly woman's room completely empty. Kyuhyua trembled, realizing something was wrong. She rushed to the kitchen to say the old lady was missing. Everyone began to search the villa for the old lady. Kyuhyua and Oi frantically combed through the corners, with even the oblivious beautiful girl getting involved. The beauty seemed to sense it, flipping while leaning on the wall to the outer corridor. At that moment, blood began seeping through the crack of a door ahead. As she shouted for help and crept closer, she realized she might have stepped on something. The beautiful girl tiptoed to open the door, but because of her blurry vision, she tripped and fell to the ground, her hand coming into contact with something gooey. She fumbled for her cane, only to accidentally touch the old lady's lifeless body. The beauty gasped in horror. The old lady had met her fate in the bathroom. Soon everyone arrived. Oi comforted the girl, while others were shocked. The old lady died kneeling in the bathroom. Her head was mysteriously missing. Once everyone calmed down, they headed inside, and Oi immediately called the police, stating no one could leave until the op. But to their shock, terrified Aking yelled to leave this haunted place. So excited he even tried to hit Oi until someone quickly pushed him away. Just as he regained his composure, even weirder stuff happened. The statue that was sitting in the chair suddenly vanished. Aking hurriedly turned around, frantically calling everyone to check on the statue by the door. After Oi and the old man arrived, he could barely keep his word. To their surprise, the statue was back in its chair. Aking stood there speechless, feeling as if he'd entered a bizarre episode of reality TV. Soon, the police finally arrived. After everyone did some awkward introductions, Officer Bearded Man stated he wanted to check out the crime scene. Of course, Officer Bearded Man wanted to showcase his professionalism. He dramatically lifted the cover, but was so shocked by the sight he nearly lost his lunch. His professionalism was completely obliterated as he vomited his dinner. Terrified, Officer Bearded Man rushed back to the car to call for backup on the intercom. Officer Bearded Man flipped through the owner's diary, trying to find some clues. After setting down the intercom, he thought about lighting a cigarette to calm his nerves. Just then, a figure appeared in the rearview mirror. But the instant he turned around, the figure vanished like a magician's trick. Feeling something was off, Officer Bearded Man decided to head back to the villa. He tried to call the police again through his phone. Just as he hung up, the villa lost power once again. Everyone was too busy scrambling around to figure out what caused the blackout. The statue in the living room suddenly moved. Nobody noticed it, after all. Just moments ago, its hair had been on the move. After hearing this, Nami felt even weirder. She stared at the statue, but as she bent, the record player played the Dutch folk tune again. So many odd occurrences, everyone decided to move the statue back to the basement. But while debating who would do the heavy lifting, Evanna's chair toppled over. Summoning courage, bearded man stepped forward and shined his flashlight, finding nothing. But just as he relaxed, the unexpected happened. Evanna suddenly lunged at him, gripping his neck with an iron grasp. The crowd froze in terror, and our king stood there, utterly dumbfounded. Just as Officer Bearded Man was about to choke to death, Oe grabbed a bamboo stick and charged in, pinning Evanna to the wall. But ghosts don't feel pain. Evanna simply ghosted right through the staff, and everyone was left staring in disbelief at the spectacle. Oe lost his footing and fell, while Kihu tried to help him up, only to be caught by Evanna. Realizing Oe was beyond saving, everyone bolted from the basement, barricading the exit with furniture. Under Officer Bearded Man's guidance, they decided to escape by car. But once everyone piled in, they discovered the car wouldn't start at all. At that very moment, the lights inside the car began to flicker eerily, accompanied by Officer Bearded Man's vigorous pounding, and eventually they calmed down.